Okay, like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, okay. So before we start, we probably should make a short disclaimer because we are lawyers and we are talking to lawyers. That's why we need a disclaimer, I think. So, and the disclaimer is that we're not medical professionals with Lena. We're not economists. We're not politicians. We don't know what's going to happen. So, and all that we talk about is our practical experience and our personal opinion. Okay, so it's not an advice, it's not a recommendation or a call to action. So I thought that this disclaimer is necessary because I know that, well, basically every one of you have your own life hacks, have your own tricks how to sell stuff. So we're gonna show you what we're doing with Lena. Okay, next one, please. All right, so a couple of words about me. So my name is Yury Zachek. I'm working with lawyers and business owners as an executive coach for a number of years. Before that, for 17 years, I worked as a lawyer and a top executive in international consulting companies like Ernst & Young, DLA Piper, Deloitte, Accenture. I was a managing partner at Deloitte Legal in St. Petersburg. And I was also chief legal officer at Accenture in Eastern Europe, Russia, and CIS. So I worked for more than 17 years in various biggest names in industry like DLA Piper, Deloitte, and Accenture. So now I'm working with lawyers mainly. I think 70% of my clients are lawyers and law firms on improving your, I would say, efficiency and helping you to sell more. So I'm an author of several books and also professional sales courses for lawyers and law firms. And one of the books, we'll be telling you more about it with Lena, came out at the end of April. So it's called the Guide on Sales for Lawyers and Law Firms. All right, then, so the word to you.
It's a slide about me. So my name is Yury Zachek. I'm the president and the founder at For Legal Global, and you are now here in our conference, in our webinar, or how do you want to call it? I have the experience of 14 years, and I worked as a lawyer in different places in big companies in Russia. I'm a speaker, author of practical online courses, guidebooks for lawyers, coach for lawyers also. So what we will discuss today, trends that will shape the legal industry in 2020. And actually we had a lot today in the previous discussions with lawyers from different parts of the world, but we can add something more.
Yes. So we'll basically touch upon how to get potential clients and retain their attention when everyone is already sick of webinars and Zooms. So I think you already raised this issue, so we'll see what we can do about it. So we will share our observations and practical implications of working online, because this is what we do mainly, and some common mistakes also when working online. We will discuss some major fears, doubts, and difficulties that you face when you try to develop your practice online now. I know that a lot of you are facing these difficulties now because this is a new reality we live in. And finally, we'll speak about the psychology and skills of working online and the ability not to burn out, because this is also a big problem. Online can be it's a sharp tool, but it can be also a dangerous tool if we don't know how to use it. Okay. So, and finally, we'll share the 10 life hacks to increase sales during crisis for lawyers and law firms. Basically, this is something that comes from our experience, and this is what we described in our book. So we will give you just a short summary of our observations, because we mainly work with lawyers, as you understand, Ben and I. Okay, so what's going on? I think I'm not sure that we should spend a lot of time on that, because basically the last session was about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the major thing is that the lockdown currently is going to become easier. So people are sort of getting out of lockdown and businesses, but there is also huge unemployment now. And also among lawyers, I think this is what we will face now, because there are a lot of reductions of salaries in law firms. A lot of lawyers are now laid off. So, you know, and here we see some news that even some big names like Baker McKinsey are reducing salaries for non-partner attorneys. I know it by speaking with my the partners whom I know in some major international law firms here in Russia, that life is not easy for us. So, and it's really about the survival, and it's about how I would say that this crisis is a sort of a black box. So you get in this black box, and then what happens in the black box determines whether you will be in business and how successful your business will be after the crisis is over. So it's about what happens there during the crisis that will enable you to get out of this crisis either stronger or weaker than you were. Okay, so how it was before and where it all going. Okay, so I think the major takeaway for us is that basically the first lesson from the past is that no matter how bad it is, it will get better. So because even the worst crisis so far that we had of 2009, even after that, the economies went up, and actually went up quickly. So, and no matter how scary it is, it's going to be better, because it always becomes better. I just put this chart here. It's Dow Jones. It's the major US index that basically shows how healthy is the US industry and also the world industry. And we see that there were, over the years, and it starts from 70s, we see that over the years there were some major drop downs. There were some major crises during 2000, the dot-com crisis, then 2008, you see how huge was the drop down. But then you see how big was the bubble, the previous slide there, the Dow Jones, yes. So you see how huge was the bubble. So everybody was speaking about that it should drop down, and they were expecting it a couple of years earlier, actually. And it really dropped down, but then now it goes up again, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. It's always like that. So as you see here, nothing horrible happened so far, which is a good thing, because actually we were expecting worst case scenarios during March and April. So now we see that it's not the end of the world. And also the next slide, I thought that, okay, we should look at oil, because oil is also a commodity that shows how healthy is the world. And we see that there were periods in history where oil, again, this is since 70s, it's like for the last 50 years, we see that there were periods when oil was really cheap. So, and again, nobody died. And I think for Russia, the 90s, when the oil was cheap, it was a pretty tough time, but still we survived. I mean, we're still here, and both Len and I, we come from this time, and, you know, yes, it was hard, but we survived. And then we see that oil went up, then it went down, then it all again went up. So it's all fluctuations, it's coming up and down. Yeah. So, and it was at the start of the crisis, it dropped down to almost 20, now it's 35. So the idea of these slides is that it's not the time to panic, it's just the time to understand that this is our new reality, this is normal, and unfortunately we will have more pandemics like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the lessons that we learned from the past. So I think when I was preparing for this broadcast, I thought about my experience coming through previous crises. And I remember in 2008, I was a newly promoted Deloitte partner. So I became a partner in June, and it was amazing. It was great. We went to Monaco, all of the partners with our wives, with our spouses, and we had a hotel rented for us, and we all went to the casinos and drinking champagne and celebrating. That was amazing. That was in June, but in September, the Lehman Brothers started and the global financial crisis started. So I remember this crisis very well, 2008, 2009, 2010. That was very severe. But my takeaway from that crisis was that flexibility and adaptability are two major factors supporting your practice throughout the crisis. So be ready to change. Because one of the problems that I face when I work with lawyers is that lawyers are a very conservative profession. They are very traditional. Well, I'm a lawyer myself. I know it very well that for lawyers, it's hard to implement changes. There is research showing that out of all corporate functions like HR, finance, marketing, IT, legal function is the function that adopts change and implements some new technology, like the last one of all of other functions, you know. So I think there was I think it was Ernst & Young research, recent one. So lawyers don't change easy. So, but for us, it's time to understand that we cannot survive and we cannot continue as we used to work before. So it's a new reality, and we have to change no matter how difficult it is for us. So the second thing, sorry?
I have only one question.
Yeah.
Why did you go to Monaco without wives?
With wives. With wives.
With wives. Oh,
yes,
okay.
there were like several hundred people. Yes, I mean, with wives. So
wow.
it was crazy. So can you get the previous slide, please?
Yeah.
So the second thing is that we discussed also, it was touched upon today, was that we need to be close to our clients, because it's how close you are to your client determines how successful your practice will be. So we need to be ready to go out and talk to our clients. I know that again, for lawyers, sometimes this is not easy, because lawyers are very analytical. Lawyers are not empathetic. There is psychological research showing that. So for lawyers, sometimes it's easier to write an email rather than make a call or meet with someone. But now it's especially important to have this visual contact, to call, to have video calls, you know, because relationships built during the crisis will survive through the years to come, and they will be very strong. This is what my experience shows. The clients that I got in the crisis of 2008, 2009 were my best clients in the years after the crisis was over. And support your clients and help them now, because they need your help, and don't expect a lot of money of it now. So this is another important thing. So we need to be ready to help our clients and support them, sometimes even for free. And why do we need to do so? Because when the money is back, when your client's cash flow is back, they will pay you immediately, as soon as they can. And then they will pay those who helped them to survive through the crisis. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are the person who helped them, because people and businesses are very, very thankful if you support them in difficult times. It's easy to support a client when they have money. It's easy, but try to support your clients when they don't have money. So this is the trick. Okay.
We have a comment. I'm not 100% sure about that. Sometimes your floor becomes your seal. From Ricardo, and we discussed this before. Yeah.
I'm not sure I quite understand here what Ricardo means. So Ricardo, if you could somehow explain what you means here, so and I will comment on that.
Yeah, but I'm actually absolutely agree with you, and I think that if you can be a just like person to person, human to human now, it will help you to build the real stronger communication with your clients. Yeah.
Right.
Yury, if I may,
Yes,
This Ricardo. What I agree with you about the in-person contact and being a partner of your client now. But when we go to the fee arrangement and you say, "Wow, this is the time for you to be a partner and reduce your fees and give the discount because when the money is back, they will repay you for something some effort that you did now." In principle and from a conceptual perspective, I agree with you. But in a practical terms, and at least in the experience here in Brazil, is that sometimes when you said, no, I will give you my minimum fee now, and then after the crisis, what used to be your minimum fee is now your maximum fee for the client. You cannot charge more than that because you were able to work for that fee. And sometimes this discussion is tricky, they have a lack of memory sometimes. But
right.
Conceptually, I agree with you.
I got you, but I was saying about doing stuff for free. It's not about being cheap. Please don't get me wrong. We don't need to become cheap. So, and I'm also not reducing my fees now. And I'm not giving the discounts, but I'm doing a lot of free work now. So because when the crisis is over, they will not be able to say, okay, now work for us for free. No, you will charge the same amount that you have. All right, good. Okay, so let's go on. So this is the guide on sales that we made with Lena. Now it's in Russian. I know that a lot of you can't read Russian. So, but we're currently doing the English translation. So I think it should be ready in a couple of weeks and we will be rolling it out. And I'm sure that you guys will like it because we just put together all the experience that we had in online sales for lawyers. So, and I want also to share with you a number of conclusions that an online marketing company, eMarketer, made. It's called The Biggest Business Impacts of the Coronavirus Pandemic. So it was published on March 14. So it was published when the crisis just started. And it's very interesting to see how true all these predictions were. And the first thing that they said is the spread of coronavirus is likely to boost digital media consumption across the board as people spend more time at home and communicate in person less. And this is absolutely true. I'm sure that all of you actually started spending more time consuming digital media, consuming digital products. So, this will only become more. So, because this pandemic and this crisis just changed dramatically the how people behave, and this will remain even when people just get back to normal. Okay, so the next thing is that social networks could be a major beneficiary as people turn to these platforms to connect with friends and family who may be at a distance or to access new content. So I'm sure that all of you, I just well, maybe if you can put a plus in the chat. Yes, those of you who started using social media more for the last couple of months, I definitely started using it more. So, and even those who never used it or didn't like it, they are in social networks now. So for us, it means that you have more opportunity to be in front of your clients if you're using social media and social networks. So because this is the trend, this is what's going to happen. Okay. Next, please.
Just a second.
Okay. So e-commerce is likely to grow as consumers issue physical stores and crowded gathering places, but this could create logistical challenges. Okay, the takeaway from here is that everything is shifting to e-commerce and buying things online. Again, this shows us that people will be spending more time online. They will be buying stuff online. And again, I'm sure that a lot of you started buying more things online, started buying food, started buying, ordering food, or some, I don't know, clothing or whatever. So this is again something that shows you that people spend more time in front of their screens, and this is a huge opportunity for all of us. Actually, if you are on their screen, everything's going to be okay for you. If you are not in front of them, then you're going to be in trouble. Okay, next please. And the final conclusion here is that global media ad spending is likely to take a hit due to the coronavirus, according to newly revised eMarketer estimates. So when they published this research, it was attributable to China only. So, but now what we see that in fact the ad cost of ad in social networks went down. So because some of the big names and some of the big ad spenders, I would say, are not there anymore. So there are no ads for travel agencies, for hotels, for flights, for restaurants, for clothing, you know. So now is a good time to actually start putting ads in the social media if you haven't done so. So now is a good time. Okay.
To be more active there. Yeah.
To be more active there. Absolutely. So, and I just remember this. I don't know if you remember. I think a lot of you remember this quote from Bill Gates, who said that if your business is not on the internet, then your business will be out of business. He said that, I think, maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago. So it was a long time ago. And a lot of people were kind of skeptical about it. And a lot of lawyers were thinking that, okay, so online, should we be there? Should we not be there? But now we see that a lot of people just keep losing their businesses simply because they were not online, because they didn't have proper websites, because they didn't have the online part of their business. So physically, they're getting out of business. So this is our new reality. So even if you were not online, now you have to be. So, and the legal profession is also going through this shift. So we need to be able to, I would say, make all our services digital, because that's where we're moving. Next one, please. So also from Bill Gates, content is where I expect much of the real money will be made in the internet, just as it was in broadcasting. So content is king. Content now is the new gold of the 21st century. If you can work with information, and the good thing about legal profession is that we are working with information. This means that we can be easily digitalized. It means that if you know how to make proper content, your content will sell, because the proper and good content sells. Next one, please. And also quote from Henny Roney, the HubSpot marketing manager, only the companies and brands that create human connection are going to succeed. You might get short-term benefits from the very promotional content, but honest, human, and personalized content creates a following for the long term. So this means that we need to change, we need to have this shift in our head, how we look at the content. It does not need to be just a content, you know, it needs to be honest, human, and personalized. And here, this is where we face problems with law firms, because lawyers are I would say it's a very strict profession, you know, so we are not entertainers. It's not about fun. It's about solving problems. But usually this is not very exciting for people. So now we have a sort of a dilemma. So we need to bring content which is, first of all, useful, but also which is readable, which is fun to read, which is nice to read, which is interesting. So
yeah.
This is a bit of a problem. Yeah. So maybe, Elena, if you have some comments on that. This is, I think this is very hard for lawyers.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of time today to discuss this. And we have a very interesting comment from Ricardo. In 2018, almost 6% of my income come from LinkedIn interaction. Yes.
Yes.
And now, what about now? Can you write it for us?
It can be, Ricardo, it can become 60 after the crisis, and you can make it 60. Right. Good.
Yeah.
So let's go further.
I'm trying.
All right. Okay, so here we are with 10 life hacks. So we'll be really short and quick, very precise here. So the first one is spend enough time on sales and make it your priority. So put it in your calendar, for God's sake, because I know that lawyers are so bloody busy all the time that they don't like sales. They don't have time for sales. But now sales must be your priority, and we need to learn to sell stuff. I know that a lot of lawyers, top lawyers, even law firm partners are very, okay, let's be frank, are very bad at selling. I was bad at selling when I became a partner in big four companies. So that was like 12 years ago. I was really bad at selling stuff because no one taught me, and I didn't bother to go to some courses, you know. So that's why I was just selling how it was selling itself to some extent. Now it's not working anymore. Why? Because a lot of people get online, and we have millions and millions of professionals from all over the globe becoming visible now. And this event that Lena organized is a very good example of that. So if you can get an advice directly from a lawyer in England, for example, on UK law, so why would you go to a lawyer in Moscow, right? So you can go directly. So, and this is very interesting. So if you are visible now, then you can promote yourself. If you're not visible, if you don't know how to sell online, you will be just completely lost in this information buzz. Okay, so the second thing is that recent study by Upwork revealed that the freelance workforce is growing at a rate of 3% or 3 times faster than the overall workforce in the US. By 2027, freelancers are expected to make up the majority of the US workforce. Furthermore, there is a research by McKinsey & Company who shows that by 2025, it's just in 5 years, more than 50% of the workforce in the world will be freelancers. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, this means that this is time for you to create your personal brand. So I think the 20th century was a century of corporate brands. So now we have this major shift towards the personal brand, and we see now that companies now hire really great professionals who have their own small boutique law firms. They're not willing to pay for big brands anymore. So the good thing is when you have both your corporate brand, strong corporate brand, and your personal brand. But we cannot be in the situation now when you only have your corporate brand and not your personal brand anymore. So, and also you need to, if you are a partner in a company, so then you need to think about how do I bring these strong individual brands into my team. So the corporate brand should become an umbrella for smaller brands, personal brands. So this is not what I invented. This is what the social, the scientists say. Okay, let's go further. So the third thing is connected to much extent to the question, how am I different? So most people are asking these people and asking this question, and I know that this is actually a very difficult question. So because there are millions of lawyers, how am I different? And so the trick here is that you can actually attach your personality to your professional services. So most people are more interested in following other people than they are following specific companies. So if this was a webcast organized by, you know, I don't know, some big law firm or whatever, so probably it would not be so interesting, right? So so this is not about corporate brands anymore. This is about you being interesting. So therefore, building an audience for your personal brand can actually help increase sales for your company as well. So promote yourself. I'm always saying that you as a lawyer, you're just a number, you're just one among millions. But you as a person, you are unique because there's no other you on this planet Earth. So we need to start valuing ourselves again and start to think, how can I find my own way and concept to attract more clients? The next thing is, where do I find clients? This is also a very important question that clients ask me during the courses on selling that I conduct. So we need to understand very well the target audience and communicate with them on a regular basis. Not only understand them, but communicate with them, because this 21st century, the digital age, it's about communication. It's about, I would say, expressing yourself. So it's about broadcasting yourself, how YouTube, like broadcast yourself. So we need to broadcast ourselves. So that's what we're all doing here right now. Okay. 5 is net giving. So I like it actually. So net giving is, well, it's not a so new concept, but a lot of people don't know it. So there used to be a concept of networking. When I wake up in the morning and I think, okay, how do I work with my network so I can get more money? How do I work with my network so I can get more opportunities from them? So now what is suggested is to change your mentality and to wake up in the morning, open your eyes and ask yourself a question. Okay, how do I help people in my network? So you can have a list of people whom you're actually helping. So this can be something really small. Sharing a book, sharing a link to some interesting article, giving some small advice about some new legislation that just went out. So, and we're speaking here about personalized content. It's not about sharing stuff on your in your Facebook or in, I don't know, or in LinkedIn for everybody. No, it's just sending small personalized messages saying, hey, look, I just came across this thing. I thought it might be interesting for you. I remember you told me that you had this problem. Here it is for you. Bye-bye. Have a great day. This is what we're talking about. This is net giving. So we just give people some really good advice and some support. Okay. And finally, build online sales funnels. And I guess, Lena, maybe you can just say a couple of words about 6 and 7, because this is exactly what it's all about.
I found some statistics about law firms, and it's like small firms with 2-5 attorneys uses social media like 67%, mid-sized firms only 12%, and larger firms 18%, as Yura added before. And actually, when I looked through the different parts of the world, I found out that lawyers from different parts, they're using mostly LinkedIn, and but this is the and use it just like a little bit.
Yeah.
And in Russia, for example, our lawyers, they prefer to use Facebook, and I know the companies, consulting companies in IT sphere, for example, which spend a lot of time to in Facebook, and they are posting some interesting information, and they have like 80% of clients from Facebook, and they are not they're not trying to it's personal accounts. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting actually to read them, because they are trying to share really interesting cases, their own experience, something about their private kitchen. I don't know if in English it's correct or not. And it's really interesting to see what's going on in their firms, in their companies, and it working for a long period for them to and help them to find clients from this social media. In Russia, we also use Instagram, and I don't think that it's so popular in Brazil or in England or somewhere, because like LinkedIn, it's the social media for business, and Facebook, Instagram, it's social media for not for business, but actually in every social media you can find your clients, and you just need to understand how it works. And about funnels, I think it's also the very big topic for the discussion, and probably we will have our next conference about it.
Absolutely. Good. So, and so the next one. So let's see what else do we have. Yeah. So, and everything is actually, as we said, everybody is really tired of live broadcasts and webinars. So the trick here is to provide really well-structured information and talk about specific steps, so that your customer needs to take. So I think the trick here and the life hack here is to make more personalized and specific, more narrow topic webinars, not for everybody, but just for your specific clients on this specific topic or specific problem. So the narrower is your audience and the topic you're talking about. So the more kind of the better quality target clients you can get. All right. So and we close to our final ones. So this is important. This is massive. 9, don't be afraid to give free information or advice to your clients. I know that this is not what lawyers like to do or got used to do. So I personally remember that this is one of the first things when I started working with, I started working with Anderson Legal many years ago, and my partners told me, so if you have a phone call with a client, it's just a 10-minute call, write it in the time report, and then the client at the end of the month gets it in their invoice. Okay, so we need to change our perception now and our mentality, because people now buy in a different manner. So think about you're buying a lot of stuff after you get a free tester, after you get the ability to try things. Okay, so you get free yoga lessons, you get free I don't know, some kitchen class. Yeah. So some stuff you first need to give your client the ability to try it. So, and this is how we need to sell legal services. So, and the good thing here is to educate your potential clients. So share useful and practical information with them through quality content. Don't be afraid to give the best things that you have for free. Why? Because the clients will forget it anyway. They will not be able to do it without you anyway, because they're not professionals, because this is your topic. This is kind of what you're doing every day. So they will forget about it in several days, and they will still invite someone to help them to implement things. And they will invite those who already helped them with free stuff. If you already helped them with sharing some free stuff, and it was really cool, it was great, then they will come to you, because they will know that you are a professional. If you help them for free already, okay, then you for sure will deliver great quality for money. And again, I'm not talking about reducing your fees. Never reduce your fees. Your fees should only go up. All right. So, and sorry, the previous one, I just a couple more things. So tell your prospects about practical tools instead of theory. Conduct strategic workshops, sessions, create useful programs and anti-crisis packages. You know, this can be for free. This can be some short meetings, some short trainings. My personal experience shows that sometimes the client is not willing to meet with you, have a call with you. But if you tell them, look, we'll deliver a short free of charge training for your team, then this is something interesting. because the client understands, okay, I will not only get some free stuff, but I will be also taught to do something. So I will get some sort of new knowledge, new skill. And for you, it's a good thing because you will have all the team together, your target team, and you will be training, you will be teaching them. And this is the time for you to show the best that you can, to show how cool you are. So that after this free session, this free training, you will ask the question, okay, would you like to work with us, to continue working with us? Not to work with us, but it's very important to continue working with us because you are already working. Would you like to continue? And I would like to assure you that if you did a great job during this initial part, they will say, yes, we would like to continue working with you. Thank you. So help your clients, do sell them legal services right now. Clients need you these days more than ever. Okay, and the last one, learn how to manage stress and be resourceful. So being resourceful means the ability to overcome problems and to use what is available to create a solution. I've seen that there were some discussions in the chat about these stress management. So lawyers are not very good at stress management. Unfortunately, one of the main tools that lawyers use is alcohol. Some lawyers use antidepressants, some tranquilizers. So, and this is not the right way to do, especially during the crisis. So if you are good, if you feel good, you will be good at sales. There is a phrase that Dr. Maxwell Maltz once said. Maxwell Maltz is one of the best authors on the psychology of selling. And he said, feeling good is the golden key to major success in selling. So you just need to feel good about your sales, about yourself. You need to manage your stress. And this is very important. And now the pandemic showed us that we're not good at it and we must do it. If we didn't do it before, you must start doing it now because it's going to get worse. The flows of information will only become bigger and bigger and bigger. So please take care of yourself. Spend time on managing your stress, teaching, learning new techniques. And I think this is it, Lena. So what, do we have anything else?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Yury. And we have just 2 more slides about how we can help you. Here you can find our contacts. You can write an email if you need some, if you want to share maybe your experience, or if you need some suggest from Yury or from me. And you can book a 45-minute strategy session. This session is free, and it's aimed to determine next practical steps on boosting your sales and online funnels also.
Yes, and I would just add that if you have questions about the sales funnels, online marketing, I guess this is more to Lena. So if it's about your psychology of selling, about the limiting beliefs that you have, about some blocks that you have in selling, I would say, or maybe your stress management and stuff like that. So this is more of my topic. So I think we have a sort of a different, we're looking at the same problem from different angles. So, but we're really eager to help you guys because we know that this is not easy for you. But we also know, and I can tell you that from my personal experience, if you know how to work online, you can feel really, really good and confident during the crisis. Now, in May, I can share with you that my personal financial results in May, they're back to the results I had in February before the pandemic even started. And February was the best month for me ever for the last 3 years. Okay, so, and this just shows that the life goes on, your clients will come back, life will come back, and guys, you just need to be well equipped for that. And so we're happy to help you with that.
Yeah, thank you guys to be with us. This is our social media contacts. So we will be glad to be your friends. See you in our next webinars, in our next online conference. Bye-bye.
Yeah, looking
Thank you.
forward to that then. Bye. Have a great day, evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.